Welcome to RCTech. This is Ritesh Srinivasan. In this video, let's look at software named entity recognition. So this paper and its associated GitHub repository was pointed to me by a subscriber. So here, the idea is that we need to detect some software entities, right? So what are software entities? Okay. So in this paper, they talk about software entities, which are 20 types of fine-grained entities. It has 8 code-related entities and 12 language entities. So the code entities include mention of class, variable, inline code, function library, value, data type, HTML, XML tag. Okay. Whereas the natural language entities include mentions of application, UI element, language, data structure, algorithm, file type, file name, version, device, OS, website, and username. Okay. So if you look at an example of a Stack Overflow post, right? Stack Overflow currently has over 15 million programming related questions written by 8.5 million users. Okay. So if you look at a post, it will look like this, right? I am passing an array list as message header to camel root through Java bean as follows, and then there is this code, and inside camel root I want to iterate through this list, and then I want to do some things. Okay, now to identify array list as a class name, right, Java as a language, bean as a class name, variable name as a list, camel root as a class name. So these are your software entities. Now why would you want to do software entity recognition? Software entity extraction is useful for extracting software knowledge bases from text, developing better quality measurements of Stack Overflow posts, finding similar questions. The challenge in software named entity recognition is that a lot of words can refer to a data structure but also can be a variable name. For example, words like list, right? And the software entities are often ambiguous and have implicit reliance on the accompanied code snippets. So they have actually proposed a software named entity recognizer that utilizes an attention network to combine local sentence level context with corpus level information extracted from the code snippets. So for example, if this code is not present over here, how do you know what array list is over here, right? So you need to kind of get the context as well as other text over here, and then make it out that this is actually a class name. Okay. So what are the key contributions of this paper, which is from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, The Ohio State University, by these authors? So what are the key contributions? The key contributions are they have actually created a new Stack Overflow NER corpus, which is manually annotated with 20 entity types, including inline code within natural languages. Okay. Then they have trained an in-domain neural soft NER tagger for Stack Overflow that can recognize these 20 fine-grained entity types. They've also tested its performance on GitHub data. They have created a code token recognizer, okay, which utilizes the Stack Overflow code snippets to capture the spelling patterns of code related tokens, and this improves the NER tagger. Okay. They have released in-domain pre-trained Elmo and BERT representations on 152 million sentences from Stack Overflow, which performs significantly better than off-the-shelf Elmo and BERT, right, in this task of named entity recognition. Okay. So now let's look at the corpus. For the corpus, they randomly selected close to 1200 question answer threads from Stack Overflow 10-year archive and manually annotated them for 20 types of entities. For each question, 4 answers were annotated, including the accepted answer, the most upvoted answer, as well as 2 randomly selected answers if they exist. Okay. For GitHub, what they did was they annotated 6,501 sentences from GitHub README files and issue reports as additional evaluation data. So this is their training data, this is the additional evaluation data. So the entity types I actually explained before. What are the entity types? So on average, they found out that an entity contains about 1.5 tokens. So they have given some details over here about those entity types. For example, some entity types like rich text is a common file type. It spans across two entities, right? So they have also taken care of things like array list. In the first example over here, see, the array list is actually split as two words. If you look at the language, it is one word. Okay, so they have taken care of such things when doing the annotation. Okay, more annotation, how it was done, the details you can find over here about the annotation agreement and other thing. Okay, and for the GitHub data also, some more details are present over here, in the sense that they removed some code blocks from the issue reports and readme files, and they created this resulting GitHub NER dataset. Okay, so for the tokenizer, right, you need to split this text into tokens. So what they did was that for the tokenizer, none of the standard existing tokenizers gave them good results. So they have created a new tokenizer using another tokenizer over here, right? Tokenizer reference is present over here as the starting point, and then they added additional regular expression rules to avoid splitting the code related tokens. So they have customized their tokenizer. So as explained earlier, software related named entity recognition poses significant challenges because it requires resolving a significant amount of unseen tokens, inherent polysemy, the words can mean different meanings, and its reliance on context. Okay, taken in isolation, many tokens are highly ambiguous and can refer to either programming concepts or common English words such as go, react, spring, while, if, select, a lot of these words which are like common language, right? So you need the context also. So here they have the architectural diagram of their soft NER model. So what does it consist of? It consists of an input embedding layer which extracts contextualized embeddings from the BERT base model, and two new domain specific embeddings for each word in the input sentence. Okay, so the input embedding layer consists of the BERT base model and two new domain specific embeddings for each word in the input sentence. Then you have an embedding attention layer, right? You have your input embedding, then you have an embedding attention layer which combines these three embeddings using an attention network. Then they have a linear CRF, conditional random field layer, that predicts the entire entity type of each word using the attentive word representations from the previous layer. So this is their model. So here if you look at, for every word there is a BERT embedding, then there are two other embeddings. One is a code recognizer and one is an entity segmenter. I'll explain about this. Then over these embeddings there is an attention layer. From the attention layer you get certain weights, right, which is then passed on to a linear plus CRF layer for your entity detection. Okay, so here some details are given regarding the embedding layer of the attention. Okay, so I'll be explaining about this. So for input embeddings, first is in-domain BERT representations, which for for the word, and they also did a code recognizer and entity segmenter are the two new embeddings, right? So when they are saying in-domain BERT, it means that base BERT was trained on Stack Overflow data to create an in-domain BERT. Okay, so by your fine-tuning and pre-training. Okay, so what is this code recognizer which is created over here? So the code recognizer is a separate model which represents if a word can be part of a code entity regardless of context. So whether this word can be part of code or not is the code recognizer. Entity segmenter is one which predicts whether word is a part of any named entity in the given sentence. Okay, when you have that word array list, so the word list is part of this span of array list. Array is also span of this span of array list, and together that is a segment of an entity segment. Okay, so that is your entity segmenter. So each domain specific embedding is created by passing a binary value predicted by a network independent from the soft NER model. Okay, so then there is this description of these two code recognition and entity segmenter. Okay, so for the in-domain word embeddings from BERT, standard procedure which they have done, and they have actually pre-trained in BERT as well as Elmo and GLOW on the Stack Overflow dataset. So that is your BERT embedding for each word. Okay. Now context independent code recognition. So the idea is that humans with prior programming knowledge can easily recognize that list is code. List can be either code or a common English word. Listing is more like a non-code natural language token, right? So list, so this is the challenge, right? List, if you have open close brackets, then it is code. Otherwise it can be a common English word or a code, right? So they introduced something called as a code recognition module, code recognizer. Okay. So the code recognizer is a binary classifier. It is part of the code or not. That is whether a token is part of the code or not. That is what it. So it utilizes language model features and spelling patterns to predict whether a word is a code entity. So what are the features? Okay, the input features include unigram, word and 6-gram character probabilities from 2 language models that are trained on the GigaWord corpus, and all the code snippets in the Stack Overflow this thing. They also use pre-trained fast text word embeddings using these code snippets where a word vector is represented as sum of its character n-grams. So the features for classifying a word as belonging to code or not, it uses language features, which is unigram word, 6-gram character probabilities, and then your fast text word embedding, again an average where a word vector is represent sum of its character n-grams. Okay, so these features are used to give it to a neural network. So what they do is that they feed the vectorized features into a linear layer, concatenate the output with fast text character level embeddings, and pass them through another hidden layer with sigmoid activation. We predict the token as code entity if the output probability is greater than 5. So this is a small neural network for identifying the code. The features for the neural network are your word level features, the word itself, and the 6-gram character probabilities, plus the fast text average vector for the particular word, which is based on the sum of its character n-grams, right? So that is the first layer. They pass this to a linear layer. Then they concatenate the output of that linear layer with the fast text character level embeddings, and they pass it to another hidden layer. So you have one layer, input layer. Then you have the layer where fast text character level embeddings are concatenated, and then another hidden layer, and then you have your activation. So this is the classifier for your code recognizer, whether a word is part of the code or not. Okay. Then you have entity segmentation. So the entity segmentation makes use of BERT, actually fine tuning on BERT, and they concatenate it with 2 handcrafted features, okay, to get the entity segments. So one is the word frequency. So the code tokens are defined by individual users. They occur much less frequently than normal English words, obvious. So what they say is that code and non-code tokens have an average frequency of 1.47 and 7.41 respectively in our corpus. So the ambiguous token can either code or it can be non-code entities. So they are higher. Okay, so they use this also as one of the feature along with the BERT embedding feature. Then in Stack Overflow, there is this option of code markdown, which indicates whether the token appearing inside a code, basically inside a code, whether a particular token appears. But these tags are noisy, and sometimes users don't create these tags for the code. So it may be present or may not be present. Okay, but they are saying that they are including it because it's useful for the features. So for this entity segmenter, it is BERT fine tuning with additional features of word frequency and code markdown, and pass it to a simple classifier for the entity segmentation. Okay, so this is the entity segmentation. So now you have an idea of what is this code recognizer and entity segmenter. In simple terms, code recognizer is whether a word is part of the code or not. Entity segmenter is whether the word is part of an entity segment, and BERT is your standard BERT embedding, which has been trained in domain on the software code. Now let us look at the embedding, what you call level attention. Okay. So for the embedding level attention, what happens over here? So you get the embeddings from BERT, code recognizer, and entity segmenter. Okay. There, then you introduce a embedding self level attention, embedding level attention alpha. Okay, which captures each embedding's contributions toward the meaning of the word to combine them together. So for this, what is done over here is that each of these embedding vectors, right, the code recognizer entity segment, are passed to a bidirectional GRU for every word. Okay, it is passed to a bidirectional GRU. So this is, if you look at this, what is this? For the first word you are passing the BERT this thing, for the second word you are passing your code recognizers, for the third. So for each word, this is what is passed to the bidirectional GRU, which is then passed to an attention network, right? So there is also this, let me come back to that, there is also this. So what happens is these vectors are then passed through a non-linear layer which computes the output. Okay, so that is your output. So over here it passes this this thing to a non-linear layer and you get a particular output. Okay, which is the embedding what do you call, attention vector. Okay, so they introduce an embedding level context vector which is randomly initialized and updated during the training process. This context vector is combined with the hidden embedding representation using a softmax function to extract weight of the embeddings. Okay, so the idea over here is that you have each of these embeddings, your BERT embedding, code embedding, and entity segmenter embedding, code recognizer embedding for each of the word. You pass it to a bidirectional GRU. Okay, how you compute the output is that you have you initialize a vector. Okay, for this outputs over here, you have the outputs from the GRU. You have the you have initialized a vector, context vector, which is learned during the training. Okay, then you apply the softmax function on the output of each of these units of the GRU along with this, you know, a context vector to get the attention vectors of this embedding level attention. This is then fed to the linear layer and CRF. So that is the whole idea of this soft NER model. Okay. So then the implementation details are given for this particular thing. I will not be going into it. To evaluate it, they also compared it with the standard BiLSTM CRF and feature-based CRF and other models. And they claim that the soft NER, which is the BERT overflow, which is the BERT model trained on Stack Overflow, gives better performance, much better performance compared to these standard techniques on both the test set as well as the development set. Okay, I am not going into details of the attentive BiLSTM CRF and the other models. You can look at this paper to understand it. So they have given some more details of like comparing it with, say, Glove embeddings or Elmo embeddings, which are out of domain versus in domain, and it is very clear over here that the in domain models perform better than out of domain. Out of domain is your standard models pre-tuned on some other or fine-tuned on other data which is being used over here, whereas this is in domain is where they have specifically, you know, fine-tuned BERT or Glove or Elmo on the Stack Overflow dataset. Okay. So then let us look at some other results over here. So when they looked at some Stanford NER tagger, if you look at the code recognizer and NER taggers performance alone, it is clear over here that the segment entity model which they have created, the entity segmentation model, that performs better than Stanford NER tagger for the, you know, your entity segment detection. Okay, there are possible system errors coming out of this particular model. For example, see over here, if the gold standard was installing on Windows Server, the entire Windows Server word is operating system and version is like this. Prediction is Windows as operating system and server gets at is not predicted, and version only 2012 is predicted. So these kind of errors are present. Some errors of segmentation mismatch, some errors of entity type mismatch is shown over here. So entity type is library, but prediction is application over here. Okay, so they have done some error analysis over here. I would not go into it. So if you look at this whole idea over here, what they have created over here is your software entity recognition model, which makes use of BERT embeddings, which have been basically a BERT model which has been trained on the Stack Overflow domain, basically in domain training, On top of that, they introduce two particular models, standalone models. One is a code recognizer, which irrespective of the context identifies whether a word is part of code, right? And an entity segmenter, which identifies whether a certain segment of text belongs to a software entity. Okay, so they make use a combination of these embeddings to create a input vector representation for the words which are present in the text, and then they use an attention on these embeddings, right? And then they follow the standard linear layer and CRF for software entity detection. So I found this approach quite interesting. The code is present over here. And if you want to learn more about BERT or transformers, you have JAlumnar's illustrated transformer and illustrated BERT. You can look at it. I'll be posting the link of the paper, the GitHub repository of the paper, along with the illustrated transformer and an illustrated BERT in the description of the video. I hope you find this video useful. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. See you in a new video. Happy learning.